Hey, I'm Red, and today I'm gonna show you how to take that emotional piano sound that Painting Pictures by Polo G has and use it to make better beats of your own. I'll also give you some free loops if you stick to the end. With that said, let's begin. Okay, the first thing I want to show you before you decide if you want to take my advice on this is the final melody I came up with using the simple step shown later in this video. If you like the melody, then stick around because I got a bunch of tips for you. Painting Pictures melody has two main elements, and those are the piano progression and the sampled vocals. So let's start with the piano. For the sound selection on this part, I'll be using the Format Piano preset on X-Band 2. The first thing you want is to add a BPM of around 160. This will help set in the dark vibe. Now simply add a natural minor scale and let's begin. For the chord progression, I'm once again going to be using our simple emotional formula. That is the 1 to 6 chord progression. Basically, the thing here is to start your chord progression on a 1, which means the first note of the scale. Now make it a chord by skipping one tonic note and adding one note right after it, and do that once again. So you start on 1 and end on a 6 octave, which means the 6th note of the scale but 1 octave lower. And now do the same skipping thing to make it a chord. This progression is pretty much guaranteed to give you an emotional feeling when you use it. And now the best part is that you can do whatever you want in the middle. So you can use this formula in a bunch of different beats without feeling too repetitive. In this case, since Painting Pictures by Polo G is very spacious in its piano progression, and since the sampled vocals are actually what is supposed to get our attention, I'm going to let this first chord go on for another beat. And after that, I'll simply add a 7th here to keep things moving down. As always, step 2 is to highlight the thirds and bring them up 1 octave. This helps make our piano progression occupy more frequencies and thus making it sound fuller. And for a bit more fullness, I'm going to copy and paste the 5th 1 octave higher as well. Now we're going to divide our Vox samples into two groups. There's the ones we'll use for the intro and the ones we'll use for the verses. The vocals for the intro are going to be sampled singing and the ones for the verses are going to be just humming. Of course you can do it differently, but this is how Painting Pictures did it. For the vocals, Painting Pictures used one of Arcade's sample banks. I actually happen to also have Arcade's, so I'm simply going to add this 2 sample progression and add a bit of reverb to it. I'll also add this reversed reverb transition effect so that it sounds better once it loops over. This is how those sound together. And now we can move on to the verses. For that, I'm also going to be using Arcade, but this time much shorter samples. I'm also going to EQ the high end out so that it's less noticeable. Painting Pictures also adds a top piano melody in the verses. It adds the melodies mainly at the end of bars 2 and 4. So to do that, I'm also going to concentrate my top melody at the end of bar 4. This time, I'm simply going to add a 4-note progression that uses the same 3rd and 5th from our chords with these 2 passing notes. And now all we need is some drums for the verse. And drums for the drop. And done! That's how to make an emotional melody like Painting Pictures by Polo G. Before I play you the final beat, if you want to download the melody loop I made in this video, there's a free download link in the description. It's royalty free, so you can use it however you want. I make 2 beat breakdowns a week, so if you want more tips on how to make better melodies, subscribe, and as always, see ya!